Welcome back to Who's Number One and the 20 most spectacular dunkers in NBA history. Let's recap.
Number 20, Steve Francis. Number 19, Baby Jordan, Harold Miner. Number 18, Amari Stoudemire. Number 17, Dr. Duncanstein, Darrell Griffin. Number 16, Isaiah Ryder. Number 15, Kevin Garnett. Number 14, Dwayne Wade. Number 13, Leafin Larry Nance. Number 12, Tracy McGrady. Number 11, the Hawk, Connie Hawkins. Number 10, Chocolate Thunder, Darryl Dawkins. Number 9, Kobe Bryant. Number 8, the Skywalker, David Thompson. Number 7, King James, LeBron James. Number 6, the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp. Number 5, Clyde, the Glide Drexler. Number 4, Vince Carter. Number 3, the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins. Number 2, Dr. J, Julius Erving.
Well, so far, the control tower has given takeoff clearance to 19 Walk on the Clouds aerialists. That means there's one left. The most spectacular dunker in NBA history. Probably already figured out who it is.
Michael Jordan took dunking to another level. Just for the simple fact is he gave us all the illusion that he could fly.
Michael is obviously one of the greatest leapers, that ever played in this game. And the power that he brings in his dunks, is just amazing.
His creativity, style, hang time, he had it all. My all-time favorite from Michael Jordan has to be when he did Rock the Cradle. Every kid in America, I think, tried to rock the cradle, but nobody could ever dunk it. We all just lay it up.
He had a drive. He had a God-given ability to be able to dunk, and he had a relentless ability to try to destroy his opponent by any means necessary.
I can remember standing on the basket one time when Michael was coming in from the side. We were running down there to try to close him off, and next thing I knew, he was going by me. And, his shorts were going right by my face, and he dunks over Parrish and me.
Jordan one time dunked the ball over Johnny Stockton, and the owner yelled at him, "Why don't you do that against someone your size?" And Jordan heard the remark.
Very next play down, he steals the ball, dunks on Mel Turpin, who's like 7 foot. Turns around the middle, he says, "He big enough for you?"
It wasn't for nothing that he was called Air Jordan. One of Michael Jordan's thunderclap dunks in New York is still held in awe.
Me and Charles Oakley had him trapped in the corner, and he did a half moon, like he was getting ready to go back out the spin, but he spent back baseline. Just an incredible dunk. I didn't say anything to Patrick after that.
There was, no dunk ever done that he wouldn't try. As in all things, Michael was in a class by himself or awfully close to it.
He's the ultimate jump high, jump low, creative, fly, sky. He just kind of did things the way he wanted to.
Michael brought a grace and an elegance to dunking that the world had never seen. And that some of the top dunkers in today's game get a lot of their inspiration from those early days of MJ.
When he got the ball in his hand, you expected something great to happen. And you knew once he got in the air, it was nothing anybody can do. You just sit there and watch. Probably the most charismatic dunker in history.
And now, as is our custom, we turn to the second guessers to assess our rankings. ESPN.com's very own Scoop Jackson and ESPN The Magazine's Chris Broussard gravity-bound both. Fellas?
Let's get to the business. Straight to the list, dog. Well, I have problems right from the top. And Michael Jordan, best player of all time, not the best dunker of all time. He's top 3, but there is no way Vince Carter is any lower than 1 on this list. Come on. The Frederick Weiss dunk alone, you hurdled a 7-footer.
Right.
Like you were in a track meet,
Right,
you know?
right.
Then he's posterized some of the best shot blockers in history.
Right.
Dikembe. Dikembe don't do this to Vince.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
He does this, all right? You know, I mean, Tim Duncan he's dunked on.
Yeah.
You know, Alonzo.
Yeah, the league pass dunk everybody's talking about.
That's one of the most ferocious dunks you'll
And
ever see.
dunked on Shaq, and the one thing you don't see too many people dunking on Shaq, and he
Even
got one
try.
off on Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got one off on Shaq. Okay, I'm with you on that. All right, my biggest thing on here is that I think if, in the same vein of what you're saying, if Dominique is number 3, he can be no lower than number 2 in my list.
I'll give you that. I mean, Neek, you know, there's people think he beat Jordan in that dunk contest. I mean, I'm a Mike fan, so I go with Mike.
Right.
But in game situations, there's no question. The human highlight film, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
And power.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. He dunked with power, and he did dunks that came out of nowhere, you know, that people weren't expecting. And he revolutionized the tip dunk.
Yeah.
In that people, you know, you can see Vincent, you know when he's going to dunk. You see Mike, you know when the setup's coming. But with Nick, it'd be a missed shot. He's not even in the play, and out of nowhere.
Yeah, Neek was just ridiculous. And the thing about Neek, and Sean Kemp, too, because I think of Sean Kemp as like a taller version of Neek.
Right.
The unorthodox body movement. You know, Neek was pigeon-toed and just, Kemp too, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and just the movements, that makes for a nice-looking dunk. When you just kind of move strangely and all that, you know.
He got graceful when he got in the air.
Yeah.
But you can't put Sean Kemp on this list without having Gary Payton on there as a sidebar. He's robbing because he set my man up. I mean, they took the alley-oop to him. Gary wouldn't even look.
Yeah.
You know, Gary be at half court, and at the time, we had never seen anything like that. You know, half him being on this list this high.
Alley-oops.
Yo, Gary made him look beautiful.
Well, you mentioned high on the list. I think Clyde has to drop. You know, I know he was Fly Slammer Jammer and all that, but number 5, come on. Clyde, it's because of the lack of variety. I mean, he soared, he glided in, you know, the one-handed dunk.
He did his thing.
But, you know, that was pretty much it for the most part, you know, and...
You sure one of those kangaroo shoes you were looking at that kind of like dropped it down off the list?
That didn't help, that's for sure. But, you know, he's in the top 20, but he's not number 5. And I'm looking at the list, number 7, my man, LeBron James. LeBron is going to end up being one of the top 2 players of all time on this list. But dunkers, not number 7? Number 7? I wouldn't have a problem if LeBron wasn't on the list. Now, I'll give him maybe 19, 20, but if he's not on the list, I wouldn't have a problem. When I look at the fact that Jason Richardson's not on the list, Charles Barkley, 6'4", amongst the trees.
Yes,
you know what I
sir.
mean?
And would
Going
dunk
up
on
over, and
anybody.
had the little heft to him.
Yeah.
That made it look better.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
chunky guy like that going up over people.
Okay.
You know,
I feel you
so
on that.
LeBron, I mean, maybe in 5 years, you know, we'll look back at some of his dunks, but at this point, he gets up high and he's got the power. But
well, I mean,
over Kobe?
Yeah, man, Kobe's so nasty. You know, Kobe's like Kobe at 9 now. He needs to be top. I got David Thompson in the top 5. Kobe's probably right up under there.
Right under him.
Right under there.
Yeah,
Kobe's
I mean,
there. Just on that dunk alone that people forgot he did in the preseason at UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center when he came down the lane where the other team left the bench.
Yeah.
Come on, Kobe's done some ridiculous.
I mean, Kobe, let's be honest, his game and his dunks look a lot like Michael's.
Yeah.
So you can't have Michael number 1 and Kobe number 9.
That's true.
Come on.
Ask you a question. Who shouldn't be on here?
Well, I'm questioning LeBron, but Larry Nance, no way. Now, if you taking dunk contests, yeah, that stuff was nice when he beat Dr. J, and old Dr. J, by the way.
Right.
But Larry Nance, game dunks, no, he's not on here. And my man Harold Miner, Harold might have made the list if he had played more, you know? But he only played.
Did he have enough dunks?
He didn't get no
criteria,
minutes.
right. You got to have at least 25 dunks.
He probably only had about 4 game dunks, you know? I mean, come on, you know? And Isaiah Ryder, you could question, too.
Let's get back to the top 5. Give me your top 5 in order. Top 5 in order.
All right, Vince, number 1. Dominique, number 2. Air Jordan, number 3. Dr. J, number 4. Because we miss out. Doc gets punished because of his ABA days. We don't get to see that as much. And then number 5, I'm iffy, but I'm probably going with Sean Kemp.
All right.
And Kobe a close.
I'm going to give you Vince, but Nick is so close, he might as well be 1 and 1B. All right? Then I'm going to give you Michael Jordan. Then I'm going to give you Dr. J. And no disrespect to Sean Kemp, David Thompson.
It's hard to argue that.
Got to do that.
Skywalker.
Yeah, got to do his thing. All right. Thanks. Back to you, Trey.
Thanks, guys. Now let's look at how you, the fans, voted on our ESPN.com Sports Nation poll. Who did you think is the greatest dunker of all time? Number 5, Sean Kemp. Number 4, Vince Carter. Number 3, Julius Erving. Number 2, Dominique Wilkins. Number 1, Michael Jordan.
So that's it for this edition of ESPN Classics Who's Number 1. I'm Trey Wingo, and thanks for joining us for our ranking of the 20 most spectacular dunkers in NBA history. We'll be back to continue our countdown of the teams, the athletes, and the events that have shaped our world of sports. Until then, let the debating begin.